UFC 280. It's going to be live this Saturday from Abu Dhabi. I'm Lee. I'm the host of Eel Chief Sports, and I'm going to uh, just talk about the last three fights of the card, the main three, the cream of the crop, as we call it. There's some really good fights on the card, but we're just going to talk about those three, as the poster suggests, right? So we're going to discuss the Peter Yan O'Malley fight, and then we're going to go to the two championship fights above that. So been a fan of the UFC for many, many years. I'm a huge fan of Marvin Vettori, the middleweight division. I always root for him, Colby Covington. I'm even such a fan of the UFC. Sometimes the press conferences and the interviews are better than the fights, and I watch every little thing about it. And Daniel Cormier and Michael Bisping. I follow all these guys. Ariel Helwani. The UFC is it's entertainment. They're not just fighters, entertainment. They have nicknames. Some of them have costumes. It's for me. It reminds me of the WWF from the '90s because I was really into the WWF back then. Way before Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock. I'm talking about Bam Bam Bigelow and Razor Ramon and Bret the Hitman Hart. It's just you come out and it kind of reminds me of those days. Now I'm in my late 30s, so some of these fighters are my age. Most of them are younger, but some of them are my age, and some of them are older, like Glover Teixeira. He's like 42, 40, 43 years old. 42, I don't mean to age him. So I'm a huge fan of the UFC. Dana White, they all do a great job. So let's get into the third from the last fight. It's going to be Peter Yan. He's 16-3. Going up against Sean O'Malley. He's 15-1. Sean O'Malley's coming off a no contest. Peter Yan is to me this is a lopsided fight. Sean O'Malley he's a great spokesperson. He's colorful. He looks like a nice unicorn rainbow. He speaks very well. He's an entertainer to me. He's kind of taken over the whole McGregor thing as far as he'll have his own brand one day. He probably already does. He's a good fighter. He's not in the top 10. I believe he's the 11th. If that's mistaken, I do apologize. I believe he's not in the top 10. He has the range. He's got 5-inch reach advantage over Yan. Obviously, they're the 135-pound weight limit. He's 5'9". Yan is 5'6". So there's going to be height and reach advantage for Sean O'Malley. Sean O'Malley is going to have that advantage in most of his fights at 135. Very few people are going to be taller and longer than him. Yan, he fought twice in 2021. He had the disqualification against Sterling, but Yan was winning that fight. And we all know what happened there. Aljamain Sterling, he found a way out and he got it. And then Yan fought later in the year in October. He beat Corey Sandhagen. Sandhagen put up a fight, but he wasn't going to beat Yan on that day. And then they had the rematch last year, 2022. And Aljamain Sterling, I thought Yan was going to beat him. Yan had his moments, but he just kept giving him his back. And when you keep doing that, Aljamain was almost a 3-1 underdog in that fight. And you know what? It keeps it entertaining to win. He won by a decision earlier this year in April. So here we are in October, so about 6 months past all that. Look, Peter Yan, it's a 3-round fight, which makes this a little different. I think Sean O'Malley, if this fight goes the distance, which I think it will, because of his range and because of his reach, I think that's a victory for Sean O'Malley. If he just keeps it close, maybe he'll even win a round. Maybe the first round, because Peter Yan tends to start a little slow. But I do have Peter Yan winning by decision. And I do get my current lines from DraftKings Sportsbook. And that's -110 for Yan for a decision. So it's not an upset at all. It's probably better off doing that than playing Yan money line. I don't see him knocking out or choking out Sean O'Malley. Obviously, weird things happen sometimes in fights. You get these stupid injuries and it ruins the fight. But if none of the fighters get injured, accidentally, because sometimes it does happen, it ruins the fight, especially with these pay-per-views. I'm going to go with Peter Yan, and his form of victory be a decision, -110. That's my pick for that fight. But keep doing what you're doing, Sean, because it's keeps the sport entertaining. All right, moving Okay, let's go. Moving on. We got Aljamain Sterling. He's a bantamweight champion. He's defending it against T.J. Dillashaw. All right. So T.J. Dillashaw. What I don't like about T.J. Dillashaw is he has fought 2 times in 4 years. So if anybody pays attention to that, I don't like layoffs, especially in fighting, because you can get rusty, you can get injured quick. Plus, he's a little bit older fighter for coming off like this. He's 36. That's not terribly old, but he's not in his 20s. He's not like some of these young cats out there. Yeah, Tito Dillashaw, he fought last year against. Let me go to TJ. So TJ Dillashaw, I believe he won it in a decision last year. And he did against Corey Sandhagen. And that was last July. We're already in October. That was 15 months ago. And then before that, he fought January of 2019, and he lost to Henry Cejudo. So 2 times in 4 years. I know he's had, different issues of why he's has these layoffs. But when you're going up against a champion, you want to have some momentum coming into the fight. Not 2 fights in 4 years. Sterling, originally I was going to take Dillashaw for this fight, but I was just looking at, just the layoffs, and I don't like layoffs in a championship fight like this. I really don't. I see Sterling, and you get 4-1 on DraftKings if he chokes him out. So I think it'll happen later in the fight, but I think he's going to wear out Dillashaw. He's going to choke him out, give him a submission. You get 4-1 odds right now on DraftKings. That's going to be my pick. So champion retains Aljamain Sterling, who's a lot of fun to watch. His interviews are great, but he's going up against someone 2 fights in 4 years. He should be able to beat Dillashaw. I'm surprised this line isn't bigger than it is, but 4 on the money line rather. So 4-1 on the submission. All right, main fight. I hope it's the fight of the night. I think it will be. We have Charles Oliveira. Charles Oliveira going up against Makhachev. This is a big stage for Makhachev. They're asking a lot out of him. Makhachev's last 2 fights, there was 2 short notice fights against 2 strikers that had no business being in the ring with him. You had Bobby Green a few months back, and then before that, it was against Dan Hooker. So his last 2 fights just throw out. Come on, those are just walkthroughs. And look, these things happen. That's why Volkanovski's there in case something happens with the scale, or somebody gets injured, or somebody has Wheaties that didn't quite taste right in the morning. You never know. So you got Charles Oliveira is 33-8. He has one no contest. He has a long record, but you got to really look at his body of work the last couple years. Don't look from years past, because he's a different fighter. Islam, he's 30 years old. He's 5'8". Obviously have the same weight, 155, unless one of them come in heavy. You never know how it goes. You got a almost 4-inch reach advantage for Charles Oliveira. They both do stand at 5'8", even though Oliveira seems like the taller fighter. He's just tall and lanky like that. All Oliveira does is win. All he does is win. He wins as an underdog. He wins as a favorite, but particularly as an underdog, he wins. When you count him out, he was an underdog against Portier, choked him out. He was a favorite against Gagey, I believe, and he choked him out too. But he was, he was on those verge away of knocking him out before choking him out. I see Islam, this is a big stage for him. I don't believe he's ever headlined a pay-per-view like this. So it's going to be a big stage. I'm thinking maybe the moment might be a little bit too bright for him, because, Khabib's not going to fight for him. This is not the apex on a casual Saturday night. Give me Charles Oliveira by knockout. That's going to be my prediction. You get plus 550 on DraftKings. That's my prediction right now. It's Wednesday night, just a couple days before the fight. So that's going to be my prediction for those 3 fights. I'm hoping for a good card. I'm hoping, for some good fights. And it's a little bit of, I know it's a pay-per-view, but it's going to be a matinee over here. I believe the main card starts at 11 o'clock Pacific time. So that's my prediction there. So Charles Oliveira by knockout. We got Sterling by submission. And then we have Jan by decision. All right. And hope you enjoy. And enjoy the UFC, everybody. Thank you.